Hello, my name is Adrian Anderson. I've been working with Oracle CPQ and really enterprise selling applications for over 10 years now. And I currently work at Oracle supporting the Oracle CPQ product and also subscription management product. This content is separate from my work at Oracle, and it's just a means to get information and ideas out there for free for anyone that may find it useful. So, in this series of videos, I'm going to be covering BOM mapping, bill of material mapping. And bill of material mapping was the hardest thing for me to learn when I was coming into CPQ. And I really want to lower that barrier of entry for anyone because BOM mapping is quite fundamental to configuration nowadays. And it takes some experience to learn. So I just want to impart my experience with you. So, what is BOM mapping? Well, the first place to go, at least the first place that I went to learn what BOM mapping is, was the help documentation. So I'm here at help.bigmachines.com. If you follow me here, we're going to go to configuration, and then we're going to go to BOM mapping. And really here is what you want to know. So it's been around for about 8 years now. Yeah, almost 10 years. And it, quote, allows administrators to import multi-level BOM product structures for use in CPQ configuration, commerce transactions, and downstream integrations of orders to enterprise resources planning or fusion systems or order management systems. So BOM mapping works off of a multi-level BOM product structure. What is a multi-level BOM product structure? What does it look like? So I'm going to go to a tool that I like to use called Dynalist. And I have an example here that we're going to build together, right? And a BOM, again, is a multi-level product structure, and we call those levels BOM levels. The first level in that structure is going to be the root, and that level is always 0. So what we're looking at here, this deployment is level 0. Now, deployment is going to be part of the use case we use later, which I, again, will explain later. But this is going to be a configuration model in CPQ. Okay. And I ought to mention that in CPQ, we are fundamentally working with what's called a sales bill of material, an SBOM. There's a different kind of SBOM called software bill of material. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about a sales bill of material. There is also worth mentioning a manufacturing bill of material. CPQ can produce that, but manufacturing items aren't something you would see on the line item grid, but they are implicit or behind the scenes in the structure, and those are really used for more detailed manufacturing integrations and or use cases. So we are going to be focused on just a sales bill of material. Okay. So like I was saying, the root of a sales BOM in CPQ is a configuration model, and the root of any BOM is going to be level 0. The next level will be level 1. And in our use case, we will be having option classes here. Now, option classes are classes of options, or in lame, or not layman's terms, but in normal speak, just buckets of options, or more particularly speaking, buckets of parts. So if we expand one of these option classes, we see 3 parts: upgraded cooling, environmental monitoring, and compliance certification assistance. These are what we actually are going to be selling to our customers. Okay. And just like this level is level 1, the things underneath them are going to be level 2. And these things could have levels underneath them, which would be level number 0, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, and so on. You can have as many levels as you want in your bill of materials. You can have option classes under option classes. That's totally fine. You can have models under models. That is totally fine. But that's something in CPQ that we call system configuration. We won't talk about that in this video. We'll get to it in later videos. But for now, we're going to stick with the simple 3-level BOM. 0, 1, 2, level, which again is 3, even though we went to 2. So what we're looking at when I expand all of this is an exploded bill of materials. And actually, before I continue, I have to mention that using option classes is optional. You could have a bill of material that's flat that looks like this, where I just have my root model, level 0, and then all the parts here just on the same level. However, using option classes is recommended because it generally gives you a way to organize your parts in relationship to each other. It looks neater. If you are in a more robust, especially manufacturing world, where you have things like ATO, assemble to order, or PTO, pick to order, models and option classes, this is something that should be quite um, natural to you. But in a world that's kind of coming into that, so high technology or finance, uh, med, uh, medical, things like that, they aren't really used to using these sort of bill of materials. Those ATO and PTO really don't matter, but the use of option classes still is good because it, again, gives you a way to organize your parts in relationship to one another. And it's just neater. So, as I was saying, when we look at something like this, where the entire BOM is expanded, we are going to call this an exploded bill of material, a completely expanded bill of material. That's just kind of terminology and jargon that's used from the manufacturing world that is really BOM intensive. Okay. And what we do in CPQ, what BOM mapping allows you to do is map input from users in a configuration experience from configuration attributes to parts in your bill of materials, specific parts in your bill of materials to return a BOM instance. The BOM instance being the bill of materials for that particular configuration. So if we were to take this and skinny it down to a BOM instance, let's say a user is going through configuration and they say they want upgraded cooling, they want compliance certification assistance, they want a 500 or a fiber 500 uh, internet connection, they want some kilowatts of power, and they want a cabinet. This is what it will look like. So everything again is exploded bill of materials. The things highlighted in bold are going to be the BOM instance. And we highlight the option classes and the deployment because by nature of buying a child of one of these option classes, we are also buying or having that um, item in the BOM instance. So if I remove things that aren't in bold, we can see what it looks like. And here we have that BOM instance. So this is how it will look on the line item grid. Okay. So let's undo all of this, make everything back the way it was. And now let's move over to CPQ and go through a use case. Or not a use case, but let's just see what it looks like in CPQ. So I have a transaction here for us. All right. So I'm in configuration. I'm going to open the BOM panel to the right here, collapses price. And I'm going to collect BOM mapping for a minute because I want to make a distinction between bill of materials and recommended items. So in the past, and for a long time, recommended items were the primary way, at least in CPQ, to add items to your transaction. But outside of CPQ, even if an application that you're using didn't have something called recommended items, the general theory was, or philosophy was, just make selections, add an item to a part. There was no such thing as this hierarchical relational structure. It was just select A, get part A, that kind of thing. Just parts in the cart. This still has its use cases today, but I like to use it for more auxiliary things, so accessories, things like that. So if we look at this BOM mapping panel, we see you won't see things indented like we saw in Dynalist, but you will see a model, an option class, and parts. And as I make changes to this part, see we have this Ultra Server X7 3 rack unit. that corresponds with this attribute. If I change this to a 9-rack unit, notice how this part changes, right? And we can make a bunch of changes here, and it's going to reflect in the BOM. So let's just update and then add this to the transaction. And you'll see we have this. Let me make a change here quickly. Okay, I had to do a little fidgeting to get my description up. I'm not sure why that happened, but we're back. So, and what we can see here is we have, again, that BOM instance that we were talking about here. See? We have our model, our option classes, and then the parts underneath them. And that's what it looks like from a user side. Okay. So the first thing that you need to consider before you get started in implementing BOM mapping is going to be what it is you're selling. And I emphasize that because it's very important, because if you don't know what you're selling and how it's sold, building this sort of structure will be difficult. Okay. And there may be a bill of materials defined already in the organization, but it may not be the best or robust thing. Uh, a lot of times you'll see manufacturing companies buying CPQ and they want to work backwards from the manufacturing BOM to a sales BOM. Again, it can work. You can really make CPQ do whatever you want to do, but maybe I'm biased, but I do think it should work from the sales BOM to the manufacturing BOM. So, and it's even another story if a company doesn't have a bill of materials, they just have a bucket of parts, a bucket of SKUs that they never organize. So you need to organize these things for them. Okay. In our use case, we're going to stick with this collocation use case and deployments. So, what is this? And let me explain it. So, in today's world, I don't know if you know this, but a lot of companies will outsource their data and server management. It's hard for a business that, like a doctor's office or something like that, to do medical stuff, their job, the doctors, of course, hard for them to do that, and then also maintain the servers and the data that goes on their servers. Sure, they can hire a team to do it, but that is still a fundamentally different type of work than, you know, being a doctor or working in a medical office. So they outsource this work to data centers, co-location providers. And there's a few of them. Digital Realty is one, Equinix is another. I'm sure there's others, big and small. And what do these things look like? Collocation data center. Let's go to images. Google is our friend. And here are what these data centers can look like. So, generally speaking, they will have these cabinets or racks. I'm not sure the technical term, but we'll call them a cabinet. And obviously, sit in rows. And customers of collocation data centers, they can essentially lease or rent these servers. So they would say, "Hey, Mr. Data Center, I need to rent at least one, two, three, 4 servers from you, 4 racks, 4 cabinets from you." And then data center will say, "Yes, okay." Um, they'll say, you need X amount of power, right? And then they say, "Hey, these are your options. You can have all kinds of internet connection. You can have cloud storage. You can have private VPN, that kind of stuff. You can have security. You can have remote." A lot of things go into not just the server themselves, but the maintaining of the servers. Okay. So, of course, these servers need to be powered. They need to be plugged into the wall so they can turn on. So there's a power aspect of this, right? So not just a physical space, a power aspect of this. There's a connection aspect to this. So you see these cables. If you have a computer just sitting in a room, And even if it's turned on, if it's not connected to other computers or the internet, it's more or less useless. You can't access the data that's there. You can't send the data that's there, retrieve it, nothing like that. Sometimes um, these cabinets are inside a cage for security, right? Okay. A lot of times, and here's a good image of how these things can be connected. Let's see where this takes us. I don't like it here. But you see how it can be connected. You have your server that's in the cage, obviously is powered. It can be connected through cables to, like, say, your campus, your work campus, or your office. It can be connected to the internet, so it can just do internet exchange, things like that. Maybe you have an app, right, that people use on their phone or iPad or their computer. So they need to be able to send data from the app through the internet to your server, kind of like how I'm doing now. This YouTube video will go on the server somewhere, and through connectivity and the internet, it'll get to you, hopefully. Again, have cloud service, so it can be stored here. So in our use case, again, we're building a bill of materials. We're implementing a configurator for a colocation provider. And through our research and talk to the customer, we understand that they sell cabinets as space. They sell power to power these cabinets. And they also sell connectivity to make sure these cabinets, these servers can connect to the outside world. They also sell add-ons just for fun. Again, I think in our BOM we have upgraded cooling, because I don't know if you know this, but computers produce a lot of heat, so we need to efficiently cool them, right? We have some environmental monitoring. Let's consider this like a security kind of thing. We have some highly classified data in our data center. Let's find a fancy one like this. Have a highly classified data center. It's all white. It's like a movie or something like that. So this customer wants to make sure that the environment is monitored for cleanliness or something like that. Um, some data servers centers also offer like remote support. So if someone needs to physically interact with the cabinet or computer, the server that's in it, they have people, staff at um, these co-location places for that. Say the computer needs to be reboot, maybe it needs to be dusted. I don't know. Maybe something needs to be a disk needs to be put in. Whatever. They have someone there, so you don't have to get in your car, drive all the way down to the wherever the server is, and do the work yourself. Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but they offer those services for you. Okay. So that is the use case we're going to build. All right. In the next video, we'll get into that. All right. But I just wanted to give you an introduction to see, so I can describe what BOM mapping is, show you what it looks like from the end user perspective, and then talk about how you want to get started. All right. So thank you for watching. I hope you'll follow me to the next video, and I hope this is useful. Any questions you have, please put them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I have started this thing called Office Hours. I don't know quite how it works. Whoops. But if you want to reach me there for some consultation, please, you're welcome to do so. So thank you very much. See you in the next video.